I'll do two solves on the same scramble, and I want you guys to see what is the difference between those two solves. So here's the first one. Is the second one. Have you found out that what is the difference between the two solves? Well, if no, then I'll tell you. The first solve, I turned my cube really fast, but I paused a lot. So that's when I tried to turn very fast, but then I cannot look ahead, so I pause. On the second solve, I turned slower, but I looked to my next pairs, and next pairs in the F2L, so I didn't have to pause at all. It might sound crazy, but sometimes turning slower and looking ahead might just be better for you. And here's why. First, don't get me wrong. If you know what you're doing, for example, your look ahead is so good that when you turn like as fast as you can still look ahead, then well, it's very good to turn really fast. But if you're not so familiar, your look ahead isn't so good, then it's often better to just slow down. And remember, when you slow your turning speed down, it means you will have to do something to compensate that. So that is where slow turning technique comes in. This is a very important thing. If you are going to slow your turning speed down, make sure you look ahead. Because slow turning and not being able to look ahead just means slow turning, low TPS, and pause a lot. That just means very bad solve. So if you are going to do some slow turning, make sure you look ahead. And one more thing, slow turning should only happen in F2L, where you kind of need to look around for your next pair. So for example, if I slow turn, so first I do the cross, and then I see my first pair here, I insert it in by tracking this pair. This is the next pair. I've already tracked it, so I knew exactly what I will do next, so that I won't have to pause. So when I get to the three mover, I recognized how this corners would stay the same, and it will absolutely pair up to this. So I did the three mover, did U2, and then I did this. So when I did this, when I'm about to insert this pair, I noticed that this edge is going to stay here, and this corner is going to move from here to here, and the white side is going to be right here, like that. So I did this next, and then I did U2, insert it in with the three mover, then I did two loop OLL. But before I do that, I just want to say that the last layer is a lot more algorithm based than F2L. F2L, it's kind of more intuitive, whether you can solve it with very high TPS, nice efficiency, or look ahead so that you don't pause. The last layer is a lot more straightforward. You just need to turn fast, and your recognition must be fast too. So when I saw this case, I do not know this case. I do not know what to do one look OLL in this case, so I just did two look, created the cross, did zoom very quickly, and then I saw this. I saw this right here, and this does not need to swap to its opposite side, so I know that this one must swap to here. So I did the UF first. This one needs to swap to here. So I did the U-perm as fast as I can and finished the solve. That is why slow turning should only happen in F2L, because when you get to last layer, it's very important to turn fast. That's one of the deciding parts most people, when practicing slow turning, mistakes. They think that they will have to slow turn the whole solve, but last layer slow turning is not really that great. It just need that you just need to slow turn in F2L if your look ahead is good. Next, I want to talk about when to start doing slow turning and when should you increase your turning speed. So you should definitely practice slow turning in F2L when you have problem with looking ahead. So for example, this case, just let me set up one case real quick. For example, this case, so you have to do this one first. So if you turn very fast and then you cannot recognize what case this is, then you will have to pause. Recognize the case and then solve it. But if you do slow turning, so you do this case while you take attention to this one, you know it's gonna be this case, and then you just solve it. And that's the benefits of slow turning, so that you can look ahead. Again, looking ahead is very important, and doing slow turning without pausing is good, but slow turning with a lot of pause is really, really bad. So when should you increase your turning speed? Well, that depends. For example, when you can turn slow and then you can look ahead very easily, you should try to increase your turning speed a little, just a little bit. So for example, if you turn kind of like this in F2L in kind of this speed, you want to slow down so that you can look ahead easier. You can slow down like here, but then you see that looking ahead at that level is too easily, so you increase the turning speed a little bit, so like this. And just when you have a problem with looking ahead again, just stop increasing your turning speed and practice on that one. So that cycle continues. When you have no problem doing looking ahead on that speed, increase your speed by a little bit until you can do it as fast as you want. That is when you don't have any pause on your solve with your normal turning speed. That is something a lot of people struggle with because their look ahead isn't good. So I'm gonna try doing the solve right now. So slow turning. Did keyhole there, but I failed to maintain my speed. That was a super stupid solve. I did a lot of pause there because I was looking through the camera, not my actual cube, so it's a bit harder. But anyways, that's the whole point of slow turning, so that you can increase your look ahead level, and yeah, just do the cycle again and again until you can do it like really fast, as fast as you want. And then you won't have to slow turning anymore, because slow is actually a word which means differently for each people. So maybe I am a sub 13 solver, so my slow turning level, for example, for this case is like this. But for sub 30 who just started F2L, you might want to turn like really slow. And don't pause. That is the most important part. So that's the whole point of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.